Hey everybody, it's me, it's Teja, and welcome to Thursday. It is my day on the Transies channel. So today I wanted to apologize. I am busting out, so I do apologize. Basically, consultation I had for a breast augmentation, and this is the result. So this will be part of my surgeries that are happening next year. But anyway, if you want to find out more about that, you can go to my channel, which is XO?OX. This week's topic is about sport. And the question is, how do you get around various sports activities as a trans person? Example is for MTF, going swimming pre-op and without fully growing breasts. I am personally curious if ftms have any sport they may have issues with. And this is from Bresalio. I hope I say that right. Basically, when it comes to sport, I am actually quite an athletic person. I've danced for 17 years of my life. I've trained in ballet, jazz, tap, lyrical, theatrical, international dance, which includes Polynesian division, Highland dancing, African dancing, Indian dancing, belly dancing, and traditional Venezuelan dancing, as well as flamenco and a whole bunch of other things. But basically, I also played football or soccer, and I also play. I did swimming for about 10 years. I got my bronze medallion. Obviously, though, all the time I did sport, I was not in transition, and I have found that until recently that I was very self-conscious to even try doing those things. I know that when you are a pre-op transsexual, or you're new to hormones, you haven't quite developed yet, or whatever have you, there is a lot to consider. There's a lot to consider, really. You don't want to wear just a tucking panty and have the possibility of falling out when you are physical. Especially when you're wearing bathing suit bottoms, like bikini bottoms, or yoga pants, or anything like that, because you will see everything, basically. And when it comes to bathing suit tops, like bikini tops or sports bras or things like that, it gets very, very, very difficult to hide the fact that you don't have breasts. Now, there are a few things you can do to get around this. First of all is when you're going to buy bathing suit bottoms, make sure they are a couple of sizes too small. So here in the UK, I'm a size 6, size 8. So if I wanted to find bathing suit bottoms, I need to find them in about a size 6, maybe 4. But 4 is pushing it. And then make sure I get something that's cut in a Brazilian style, so that I have a wider band underneath, as well as the support by going in between the butt cheeks halfway, but it's not exactly as long, so it's still appropriate for public use. This allows you to keep tight, keep everything in, as well as smooth everything out, because if you are familiar with controlled top pantyhose, bikini bottoms work relatively the same way, because they do have a very high lycra elastin content, so they do kind of help conceal things in. But again, you want to make sure you go a size smaller. The other thing you can do is make sure you have the indestructible tucking panties. And I don't have one here to show you. Basically, if you use, the best one is the type of panty, or the type of stockings that the ice skaters use, because they are super, super, super strong. It can be quite expensive, especially since you'd be cutting them up, but it is well worth it. You can also use a control top pantyhose and do the same thing. But basically, you cut off a section that is about 3 inches wide from the mid-leg or mid-thigh and then you cut off the elastic band at the top, so you have maybe about a ½ inch band. Then you place the band through the stocking leg that you cut out, and you wear that as a gaff. And that is very secure. It helps everything stay contained, seamless, and especially if you have details where there's a little bit of a peekaboo, it's skin tone, so it blends into your skin and it's okay. Now, I've only tried this by going into hot tubs or invasive swimming activities, and that works just fine. I'm not sure about more physical movement, such as more competitive swimming or whatever, because I do not do that nowadays. I tend to wear a lot of yoga pants, especially on my days off, so I just use the same gaff. I use a pair of tight underwear. My favorite are French cut thongs, so they'll look like this. They're a little bit wider, and they have a little bit more support. And I wear that underneath of my yoga pants. And you get a little bit of VPL, but it's not that bad to the point where people are like, wow, you have VPL. And it keeps you quite flat. I do jog every day, and I do dance every day, and I haven't had any problems with slipping. Maybe a little piece of skin will come out at the side, but it's hardly noticeable to the point where people will notice anything. Now in terms of tops. Now, I just recently actually bought a new bathing suit that I guess I'll show with you. And this is the best type of bikini top to get, especially if you're very flat-chested. I don't have boobs whatsoever. I'd like to pretend, but I don't. So when shopping for a bikini top, I like to go over something that's a halter top with a slight cup. You can feel the little bit of padding. It's not very padded at all. It's got some ruching and some detail, and it's more of a bandeau style with a halter neckline. And it's not going to give you the porn star boobs that so many T-girls seem to want, but it does make it look like you have that more model-esque kind of figure when it comes to having no boobs. In terms of sports bras, I know at H&M they have this really, really nice padded sports bra. If you get it in a small size, it does have padding in it, so it just makes you look like you do have a little bit of boob. Obviously, again, not that much, but still passable enough. And you can get those at H&M. They're quite full coverage. They have a pad in them, so it's okay to wear no fillers with them. And it actually kind of tucks in all the little bits and bobs that we'd like to hide very much. Also, with those, you can actually use cup fillers. So if you have the silicone breast insert, not the chick fillets that you put in the bottom of your bra to give you push, but the actual full silicone breast, you can put that into the sports bra. I do suggest using double-sided tape before you put it in. It will just help them stay in place longer, and you won't have any problems. It will look like you have a fuller bust, especially if you use a full coverage sports bra. It will help keep them in place and they won't be traveling everywhere. And the double-sided tape helps them stay adhered to the right place so they don't shift and turn while you're wearing them. I do suggest before you put on the double-sided tape, make sure you use baby powder lightly over your chest. Use the tape, then stick on the breast, because then you won't accumulate as much sweat as if you would without the baby powder. I personally am not female to male, obviously, so I can't give you any advice on female to male, but the thoughts that kind of crossed my mind is that when it comes to binding, it's kind of hard to cover that up, especially if you're swimming. In terms of like bottoms and stuff like that, I find it's really hard to tell even in genetic men whether anything's there or not, because the cut of shorts just works differently on the body than a bikini bottom does. But when it comes to binding their breasts, I would assume that you'd have to wear a t-shirt all the time, and even if you did wear a t-shirt to the pool, if you got it wet, you're still going to see the binder underneath, like the outline of the binder, and people will kind of get suspicious. That is something that did cross my mind. unless there's some sort of miraculous binding band that is very seamless and doesn't have any lumps or bumps to show underneath of a wet top. Also, but in terms of like drier sports, I don't think it's much of a problem because again, you're still binding. So again, it does cross my mind that would weigh really heavy on your breathing, especially when you're trying to pace yourself. But you won't really have jiggling action with the binder, and you really wouldn't be able to see them when your clothes are dry. But again, it wouldn't be good for your breathing. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Again, like, these are small little things. There are tons of flat-chested women, so I wouldn't be too concerned about the top part. Just the bottom part is something to worry about. And again, if you go to the beach, there are tons of girls who will wear board shorts with bikini tops. So, you know, it might not be the sexiest thing in the world, but a lot of genetic girls do it, and you can do it. Like, it's not that huge of a deal. My sister wears board shorts a lot of the time to the beach. She doesn't like to wear bikini bottoms. So, I mean, it's kind of down to personal preference. But if you're going to be stubborn and not do any of those things, then you're not inclined to go to the beach anyway, or go to the pool or wherever it may be. But just try it, you know. There's nothing to be scared about. If you fall out while you're swimming, you just tuck yourself back in before you get out of the pool, and I'm sure you will be fine. But yeah, if you want to experiment with that, I would probably go to a public pool on a day where it's less busy, such as a work day during the day while everybody is at work. And I'm cutting out of the fridge, and that should be okay. But this is a 12-minute long video, so I do hope this helps, and until next week, take care, love and respect yourself. Again, if you want any more information about me, you can go to my channel, which is XL_OX, and I will speak to you all next week. Bye!